guys, so we are in my kitchen again, and tonight I'm going to show you what's in my pantry. Since I've shared my fridge so much, I've gotten asked a lot about my pantry, and the only reason why I haven't shared it up to now is just honestly because fridges are prettier. They have more color. Pantries aren't that exciting, but I'm excited to show you what I have. And then I just want to tell you a little bit also about how my pantry has changed in terms of before I started eating healthy to now. Because you're going to see that I don't have a lot in my pantry, and that's mainly because I do mainly just eat fresh, whole natural foods, and the majority go in the fridge. Really, I feel like your pantry is generally where you store things that you buy in packages, and I don't really buy a lot of packaged stuff because I really try to focus on just eating things that come natural and don't really have like packaging or an ingredients list. If it does have an ingredients list, I try to make sure that it has as few ingredients possible. So I'm gonna show you what is in my pantry. Okay, so as you guys could probably imagine from my fridge, I have a lot of things in containers. I do in my pantry as well. And the only reason for that is because it helps me visually just keep things organized. When I see it, I'm like, okay, like I know I have that, and I know I need to eat this, etc. Before, even when I was eating healthy, I would leave things in packages or in like plastic bags, like when you get them at the grocery store, and they would end up going bad because I just would not notice them. I would, they'd get shoved in the back type thing, shoved behind things. So keeping them in clear containers for me has been one of the best ways just to make sure that things don't go bad. So, and also, just to let you guys know, I get a lot of comments about like, oh, you're so organized. The truth is, I'm not organized at all. And it's just one area that I found that I'm able to stay a bit more organized, and just because it helps me make sure I don't waste anything, and yeah, that's about it. So, here I have oatmeal. It's probably my favorite thing in my entire house. I'm obsessed with oatmeal. And this is like really small oatmeal. I was gonna say avena, which is Italian, but so yeah, you can get like the regular old-fashioned oats if you would like. Just one really big word of caution: I would not recommend the like pre-packaged ones that like the little ones that come with the flavors, because those flavors have a lot of artificial ingredients and additives and preservatives and just all that stuff. So actually I can show you up here. This is like my backstop. This is how it comes in the package. That's about it. If you look at the ingredients, it's oatmeal. So, okay. So now, behind there, we have peanuts, and I have the like actual peanuts in the shells just because I like cracking them. It's actually kind of a pain, but I don't know. I also just kind of like, maybe it reminds me of like when I played sports, when I was younger, like because you always have like nuts and stuff. I don't know. So then here we have quinoa. This is mixed quinoa because you're probably used to seeing the quinoa that's like the beige color, but there's also red quinoa and black quinoa, so this is just a mixed one. Back here, this is like, I want to say kind of one of my guilty pleasures. I mean, it's granola, which is good, like it's relatively healthy, but you have to be careful with granola because it can have a lot of added sugar, especially with the big brand names. And actually, in just a moment, I bought one that I want to show you the ingredients list. It's a relatively healthy one, but as you can see, it's almost gone. I try not to eat a lot of it because also, like if you compare, since I'm putting my macros in and everything, if you compare like the carbs and the sugar and things like that, for like the same amount, you can eat like double the amount of oatmeal for the same amount of granola because of all the other ingredients. So it's just like something where if I really want something like crunchy, to snack on a little bit and something a bit sweet. And then in these are actually, if you ever saw my lasagna meal prep jars, these are the same jars, but I usually use them for storage for things. These are goji berries, which I like to put in my oatmeal. And then here are almonds, and behind are cashews. And yeah, that's about it. I just like these containers aside from the fact that it ensures that I actually eat the stuff. It's just really easy to grab and go. And then if you can see, I'll pull these forward. These are just little tiny ones. These are sesame seeds, which are really good for you to add in things here and there, and like salads and stuff. And these two over here, This is baking soda. I'm kind of so-and-so on baking soda because the sodium content is so insanely high. But I make protein pancakes every Sunday. If you're doing my meal plan, you know that. And I like to use just a little bit of baking soda, just help give it a little bit of rise. I actually made protein pancakes this morning, and I didn't use it because I was like, I don't want all that sodium. And they were fine. They just were a bit flat. But I just have it in here for those times I want them to be more fluffy. And then here are kaya seeds. I don't know if it's kaya, chia. I'm sure I'm going to get corrected on that. It's all right. And I add these to like my Greek yogurt. These are so good for you. Really high in protein. Same with the sesame seeds. Pretty much any seed that you can get like anywhere is really, really good for you. Okay. And then I don't think that you can see above, so I'm going to take this with me. So up here we have, I'm going to start with the black rice, and it's just black rice. It's similar to brown rice. It's really good for you. It's obviously better than white rice. Here I have, this is almond flour. This is for like when I experiment with my like protein bar recipes, things like that. Same for the oat flour. Sorry, I'm translating from Italian in my head. And then here's chickpeas or garbanzo beans. And then behind here, if you follow me on Snapchat, you've probably seen me talk about these wraps. They're not wheat wraps because in Italy we can't find them. But these are farro wraps, which is an ancient grain, and it's just as good as wheat wraps. And for us, it's the only thing that we can find. So then here I have just cacao powder. This is also for my baking. I'll tell you guys, I'm not a cook. Like, I'm actually really, really bad. It's really funny because Luca has pretty much cooked everything in our entire relationship until recently. I've started cooking a bit more. Growing up, I ate fast food. I ate microwavable food. I never was told that I had to cook. So, of course, I mean, I don't know, unless you, like, actually love cooking, and I definitely don't. It just was never something that I thought was ever necessary, so it's been a bit of a learning experience for me to start cooking, and cooking sweets, healthy sweets, is one area of cooking where not only do I like it, but I'm kind of good at it. So a lot of the things that I have are for like those, once or twice a month that I'm going to create like a healthy, sweet recipe. And up here, these are actually something that I got at a health food store here in Rome. This one is rice protein, and this one is, I can't read it. It's in Italian, I don't know what this one is. Anyways, it's a type of protein, like powder, but I bought it, and I thought that it was for like shakes, and I tried it, and it was not. It was like a flour, and so then I tried it in a protein pancake recipe, and it didn't work, so I'm not too happy with them, honestly. I don't like to say bad things about products, but I mean, I have to be honest with you guys, I did not like it. And then right here, these are flax seeds. As I mentioned, anything that is like a seed is usually really good for you, and especially flax. They're really high in fiber, really, really good for your digestive system. And you can put them in like your smoothies or anything like that. They're depending on the consistency, they're a little gritty, so you might not want to put too much if you're going to be like eating it slowly, but if you have like a shake where you can just get it down, then it's not too bad. And then here I have kamut flour, and it's another ancient grain similar to farro, like the wraps that I showed you, and it's just another alternative to white flour for cooking. This is what I bought. I'm going to sit down and show you guys this. So this is the muesli that I bought today at the grocery store because I knew I was running out of that granola, and I wanted to try this, and I looked at the ingredients. So whenever I'm at the store, I look at the ingredients, and the first thing that I always look at is A, the length of the ingredients list, and then B, the sugar content. And this one has just pretty much natural ingredients for the most part. It's muesli, so it just has like grains and dried fruits and things like that. And what's funny is the same exact brand had other ones. This is Jordan's Special Muesli. It had other mueslis that were like berry muesli or chocolate muesli, things like that. And of course, those were the first ones I looked at because they looked delicious. And I looked at the sugar content and it had like 20 to 30 grams of sugar. 20 isn't too bad. That's like the max, but that's still like a one-time thing for me. But like 30 and 40 grams of sugar per 100 grams of a product is just way too much. This one had 7 grams, and I was like, oh wow, that's really good. And then I just opened it. Now, it's not that this is that bad. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it looks like the little tiny, like, cereals that you would get from, like, what's a big cereal brand? I just wasn't too thrilled about it when I saw it because I was expecting it to be like a natural granola, and it just seems to have, the ingredients just look more processed than I would have liked, so I'm actually not going to eat it, unfortunately, but, you know, just some tips that you want to always look at the ingredients list and then the sugar content, and then I think one of the first steps, too, if you want to transition to start eating healthier, start looking at labels. You will be a bit surprised, so. Okay, I'm going to show you the other part of my pantry. Okay, so here is the other part of my pantry. There's not a ton of stuff in here. These are some teas. It's a cinnamon tea, and this is the dark chocolate. If I ever have like a really big sugar craving, I'll have dark chocolate. But this is another one that you need to look at the sugar content because, for example, this has 90% cacao, which is like, I mean, I don't want to call it dirt, but it doesn't taste very good. It's not, the higher the percentage of the cacao, you know, usually the less sweet it is or the more bitter it is. But some dark chocolate candy bars will have like 85% cacao and like 50 grams of sugar. And they do that because, you know, the cacao percentage is so high that they need it to taste good. So you really need to look. This one has 7 grams of sugar, which is like nothing. So honestly, it's not that this tastes very good. I feel like it's almost the thought that I'm like, oh, I'm going to have some dark chocolate. And I usually have it with almonds. Almonds and dark chocolate. I don't know why. It's a snack that I like. And this is like our pasta area. Remember, I do live in Italy, so we have to have some pasta stuff. But it's all wheat. So this is some wheat spaghetti. And then here I have, these are little, they're called little stars is the translation. I feel like these are like what you give kids. But I mean, who doesn't want to eat little star pasta? I saw it and I was like, I want that. So, and then it's wheat as well. Same with this. This is farro. It's that ancient grain that I was telling you about earlier. This is wheat basmati rice. Some more quinoa. And this is more wheat pasta. And then here's some, this is one thing that I want to talk to you guys about is sauces. These are some things that you have to be really careful with when you're getting at the store because there can be so much sugar. Normally I try to make my own marinara sauce because it's really easy to make. But if I ever want to get some at the store to just have really quickly, you want to look at the sugar. I look at other brands that have like, I don't even know, 20 grams of sugar for a marinara sauce. This one has, if I can find it, 0.6 grams of sugar, so it's pretty much nothing. So if I ever buy, I've gotten a lot of comments about where are all the condiments in your fridge, and we don't eat a lot of condiments because I'm sorry, but they're processed. And if I ever do need to get a condiment for something, I just try to make sure, like, I'll look up a recipe for like a completely natural recipe for whatever the condiment is, and then I'll go to the store and I'll try to find one that has about the same ingredients in it and that have the least amount of sugar. So, because a lot of times you'll find like mustard is actually really good for you if you can find like a more natural one, you know, but you can find other ones that have tons of sugar in them. I mean, honey mustard, of course. The last area is the spices cabinet. So, and then up there is like my storage. That's almond milk and coconut milk is behind it. Some more oatmeal. I told you I like oatmeal. And then these are our backup like almond butters, peanut butter, and these are just some little storage things, storage for lemon. Okay, so here I want to show you, let me see if I can set this down. Okay, here's olive oil. Really high in good fats, but you have to be careful because oils have a lot of fats in a really small amount, and they're good for you, but in small amounts. This is balsamic. This is one of the like salad dressings that I use most of the time. And then here's honey, which we don't use very much. Luca likes to like take spoonfuls sometimes and I yell at him, but I'm normally okay with avoiding it. Say there's a day that I just need something sweet, I'll drizzle it on like my granola or my oatmeal or Greek yogurt. Here's coconut oil. And here's vanilla. Then these are just the rest of the spices. That's really how our food tastes good, is from spices, and they're really good for you. The only thing that we don't use is salt, obviously, but we don't need to add a bunch of extra sauces or salt or things like that because the spices that we use really give it so much flavor on its own and it's good for you. The problem is that when you're not used to eating healthy and you're used to all that salt, you're used to all that cheese or sauces or this and that, your taste buds are at an elevated level to where that's what you expect, and anything that's below that, you're like, oh, this is so bland and boring. But after an amount of time that you eat healthy, it usually takes a few weeks, your taste buds actually adjust. And I know that sounds crazy, but healthy foods no longer taste bland or boring. You begin to taste food for its real taste, and then you can, of course, you still need spices and things like that. We use a lot of onion and garlic and these spices. And then I want to tell you, these I have are Flavor God, which I've gotten a lot of questions about. I do like it. I think it's a really good alternative. It's low sodium, so it's not no sodium. Another seasoning that I really like is Mrs. Dash, which is 0 sodium, but it's not in Italy, so these ones I actually ordered online, and I'm pretty happy with them. My favorite is this one. It's the Everything Spicy. So that's about it. That is my pantry. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to write them below. And the next video, I know a lot of you guys are waiting about how to calculate the portions for your macros of individual meals. That is coming later this week. Thank you guys so much, and I will talk to you guys later. You lose fat from your overall body, including from your breasts. And since breasts are thigh slimming exercises, actually they're not really going to do anything for you, unfortunately.